Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eric. Welcome to the video. I'm going to start the video off by asking a question. So when the whole world shut down and no one was working, and the government forced everybody to stay home and or strongly encouraged people to stay home, however you want to look at it. But some people had to work to keep the world moving, which I'm not saying truckers are saints because of that. I'm just saying that was the label. The label was essential workers and businesses needed to work to make sure that the country, that things would keep moving, keep going, even though there was a lot of stuff that didn't keep moving, but there was essential things that needed to happen in the world. Okay. So and I'm telling you guys this to hopefully spread some light on a huge problem that I see in the trucking industry, not as to brag to you guys about how good I am or whatever, which I don't think I am, but I just want to make sure, because there's a lot of people that are really struggling, a lot of people in the trucking industry that are really struggling right now. So I just want to give you guys a way of thinking about it, and kind of maybe, I don't know. So with fuel prices, what I will say about them is that where we're at in the world with the fuel prices, and just such a disaster, is ever since I've been in business almost 10 years now, which is just crazy to think of, but that's about how long our trucking business has been in business, about, and not quite 10 years, so 9 years. But when I got started, and as I've been in the industry and just kind of like thinking ahead and just planning and just trying to plan what you can't plan for, I have definitely thought a handful of times in over the past 9 years, what if fuel went to $5 a gallon or $4, just some ridiculous amount of money, more than I've ever seen before. And I kind of started my whole trucking career in the fracking industry. Locally, it's totally different than like kind of what you may have seen on YouTube, where guys are in the oil fields and they're doing all that kind of stuff. But I was in the oil business locally, because in Minnesota and Wisconsin, the sand that they used to use is produced here. So then that raw material, anyways, it's long story. So it was good for us as truckers when the fuel went up, because if the fuel costs went too low, then it didn't make sense to you couldn't make a profit fracking in our own area. So right now, with fuel at $5 plus a gallon, that industry would be booming right now, but it's not, because of political reasons. Whether you think that's good or bad, I personally think it's ridiculous that we don't have more control over our own destiny, but that's just that's a personal belief. So getting back to it, I had asked myself that question: what would happen? What would we do in business? If you didn't know, one of the things that you would really want to do is you want to be able to put yourself in a situation where you can scale your business. You don't have to scale your business, like, you just want to be, you don't have to do that, but you want to have systems in place so that, let's say I died, that maybe my wife could use and take advantage of the systems that I have put in place, so that she could get the business to a good place, to just not lose everything, not lose our house, not lose, you know what I mean? Like, so it would just kind of limp along till she could, and even the people that work for us, the drivers that work for us, like, and their families. So it's important to get to a place where I have plans in place for that kind of stuff. And fuel is, you could say, is a part of that. If I can't afford to pay, if the joke that I've said many times in this channel is, how long are you going to truck until, if somebody wins the lottery and they buy a truck, then they say, how long can you truck for? And you say, until I win the lottery again, or I'll go out of business, because trucking sucks money out of you. It's kind of the joke. So the whole point is that one of those things that I pondered is that, the fuel goes up, what are you going to do? So the receptiveness of the people that we work for, the clients that we have, the direct clients that we have, on, hey, we need a fuel surcharge, and coming from a place of power, not a place of guilt and or pity. It wasn't like that at all. But even to the point of, like, one of the people that we work for is on the New York Stock Exchange, and I am really learning how school actually is important in just practicalities. Like, when I was in high school, I didn't think, like, I kind of felt like it was a waste of time because I wanted to do my own thing and blah, blah, blah. And then it's just funny how things come back and you're like, oh, well, I wish my teacher would have just explained, not that they had to, but, like, I'm the type of person that I need to, like, I need an explanation as to why I'm doing something. If I'm going to do it, if I feel like it doesn't pertain to my life, then I'm going to, like, blank out on it. So, like, when you do, like, calculus in school, it's like, why would I do this? This is such a waste of time. Then you find out, like, oh, there's a reason why you would do this, because if you do that, then this, calculus, I don't know what it is, but I know that there's a practicality behind it. So one of the things that I struggled with in school was the practicality of writing an essay. So, like, a creative essay. Sorry to bounce a little bit on you guys, but I feel like this is important. So this creative essay, and it had to be all, certain amount length and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I was always like, why can't I just say what I want? Like, why can't, to give you the example of where I'm going with this, is why can't I write an essay and say, hey, this is Eric with Twin City Hauling. You know me because we work together. And I just wanted to let you know that we need a fuel surcharge. Simple, right? Like, that's really simple. I should be able to do that. And they should get it and whatever. Then I realized, like, going back to English and what I learned in high school and college is that, oh, okay, this is important to creatively write this email in a way for them to understand that, and here comes the word essential. We are essential to your business, okay? So I can't continue to keep trucking like this without eventually going out of business. I can withhold and withstand that longer than most, but the problem is that if we are essential to you and you want to run your business so that you can keep going, you need us and we need you. The only problem for them is that I have other people that also need me, and we can logically talk about how you can't afford to do a fuel surcharge, or logically that makes sense. But here's the main thing. I have people that work for me that logically need a paycheck. I'm responsible for them, and I have to do the best by them that I can do. And how can I do that? By being in business and being a profitable business myself, so I can afford to pay my bills and support the people that support me. So even from as simple as somebody that works for me as a driver, right? As the guy that works for me as a mechanic. then the owner operators that work for me, they're entitled to getting a fuel surcharge. They are already running at a less profitable amount of money because I am taking a percentage for their trailer that they're using of mine, or the percent that I charge for providing work for them. So if I'm feeling it, then they're feeling it, and they're an essential part of my business, and then we as a whole company are an essential part of their business. If they don't have us, they cannot operate their business at a high level. And I'm not coming at this from anger or anything other than it's no one's fault, but this is just the reality of it. So in the practicality of it is, and where I'm coming from power is that I have other people. Now maybe there's some bluffing going on as well, but I have other people that already have a fuel surcharge in place that would gladly want my help. And I'm going to slowly move. I'm going to focus on who wants to have the best relationship with Twin City Hauling. And that's where we're going to go. If you're not receptive to this, then you're going to notice that there's going to be some alignment issues that happen where you're not going to get that truck on Saturday. You're not going to get an extra truck when one of your company guys calls in sick. I'm not going to bend over backwards to make that work for you when we're moving towards going to a different company and putting on more trucks at a different company. So you got to understand there's consequences for your actions. And that's how it kind of works. Now, here's the problem that I see with the spot market. And so every business sees the problem with fuel, right? And every business doesn't want to hear about slowing down. Like, every business is greedy, which they should be, because they want to make money and they want to do what they're trying to do. And if something messes with your finance, and even at a personal level, there's a problem with that. So if you can't get trucks, there's a problem with that. So the difference between mostly what I do and a lot of the world of trucking in general is that there's a person in between. And it's essential for a broker to create revenue for them to stay in business. Okay? But but the main thing is that it doesn't matter who they use, and if their Rolodex is big enough in it and they're all on the same page, they can keep going down the list. Now, for most businesses, they're not worried about me. They're just worried about, like, specifically, they're not worried about Twin City Hauling. They're not worried about me. They're worried about, this is where, like, money talks. Like, you always, like, follow the money. If you want to figure out what someone's real agenda is, follow the money. They're not worried about me specifically or Twin City Hauling. They're worried about going to their boss and explaining, we didn't meet our quota this month because ... What is that? We didn't have trucks. We didn't have the raw material, and we didn't have whatever it was. What is their solution? Well, there's a problem with trucking. The trucks don't want to work without a fuel surcharge. We need to figure that out and make that happen for them, because if we don't, we're not going to be doing what we need to do as the company, right? So there's no so if you're working for a broker, as long as the broker can give the company trucks, there's no problem. As long as, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying there's no power in that. They have the power, and I'm not saying, I don't know what the solution is to that. All I'm saying is that if the trucking is messing with the finances of the company, then now there's reasoning and there's understanding and it makes sense. And, oh, look, the fuel prices are expensive. We need to raise the prices. Now, are the brokers raising the price and not passing it on? That's a whole nother conversation. I have no clue. Okay. Probably, but I have no clue. The main thing is that as long as the brokers have enough people, there's no emergency, I guess is what I'm saying. There's no emergency for the business that the broker is hiring, because the broker is able to hire people, and there's no shortage of drivers because of supply and demand and whatever else. So somehow you want to get your trucking company, your business, to be essential because we are essential, like, right? We know that we're essential. You see the Facebook posts like know your worth and blah, 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 all that stuff. But specifically, I'm asking you guys this question: how can you become essential to the business that you work for, so that if you go out of business, it would be a problem for that business, not the broker, because the broker has a Rolodex of other trucking companies. But you want to be, I don't know, I don't want to come at it like I've got the answers, but I'm just saying that I don't have that problem because of the high fuel prices, to the point of I don't care if fuel goes up, and where our percentages are, I actually feel like we are making more money than if fuel was lower. Our rates are all the same. But I feel like the fuel surcharge is covering a little bit more than what the fuel is. And then, like, one thing that's cool about the fuel being higher is, like, you're putting it on a credit card, so then you're getting more points to do more, free things with your credit card points, travel, whatever it is. So the more money you spend, the more that opportunities you have like that. So I guess I just wanted to pose that question of thinking about it, and then thinking about how you can be on the, how do I say it? I don't know, but yeah, I mean that's basically it. I really feel for what's going on. I mean, it's just a terrible situation that's going on right now, and it is serious. But hopefully this helps you at least think of ways to do it. And like I said, you always want to try to take advantage and learn from bad situations. And I really feel like I've had more receptiveness of putting structure in place. So I just feel in a much better position in place, because now I was able to put another system in place / just another scalability feature in my personal business, where there's no question about wherever fuel goes. I know that as fuel goes up or as it goes down, I'm going to charge, more or less for that weekly or monthly or however they're set up at the different places that we work for. So I just wanted to let you know, it's different than, the normal trucking and stuff like that. And like a lot of companies, they don't want to deal with fuel surcharges. Like it's really a nightmare, for, the ladies that work for me in the office, and then also, on the accounting side in the businesses that we work for. But it's also worth it and necessary. And it puts you at ease when you know that they're in place. One thing that is very uncomforting is just knowing how much money these companies are paying us to do their business, and knowing that that's going to get passed on to the world, and like things are just going to get way more and more expensive. It's kind of like my thought on government trying to pay people a raise minimum wage, it's kind of like you raise minimum wage, then everything's just going to get more expensive. Like a business has to run off of a margin that it has. So it's either it's going to get smarter, adapt, or things are going to get more expensive. And that person doesn't need to worry about the government raising minimum wage. They need to worry about what can they do to get more skills to be more productive and make more, and not rely on somebody just giving them handouts. Take action on their own destiny. So, and become more valuable. You become more valuable, then you will have, you will give yourself a raise. You don't need someone permission to give you a raise. You can give yourself a raise by doing that. So, a little bit of a tangent. It's Saturday. I guess I can give you guys an update. So I tore my, I don't know if you guys saw my Jordans. I was wearing those Jordans, and I guess I was back in high school, and I was trying to get in better shape, and get just, with COVID and everything, it really makes you wake up as it should, make you realize that what's most important is your health. And as trucking people, we need to really focus on that and do right by ourselves and our families, and be in good shape to provide and be around for our kids and our wife and our hopefully grandkids. And it's important. So I tried to do that, and then it ended up backfiring on me, and I got in a different type of shape that I wasn't really wanting to get in that type of a shape, but I did. So I'm in my boot. I'm not supposed to really be driving yet. I drove down to the shop just because I didn't want to walk down here, but I got a couple more weeks left on that. And yeah, so that's what's going on, guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace.